Alex was a beautiful young woman, inside and out. At only 27 years of age, it's an utter shame that her life was taken from her on that horrid day, and she was given a gruesome death. The silhouette of the bear could be seen from inside the cave, as the evening sun brought to life the shadow of her coming death. Her piss-stained, mangled carcass was found the following day, and a dreadful day it was. What's up, guys? Iceman here. So, this story is about a very tragic encounter with a grizzly that two young women had in Alaska only a few years ago. This encounter went quite south for both of these young women. But before I get into it, I'd like to thank you all for your support on this channel. And if you will, like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And if you want to support me further, you can become a channel member or a patron. Links in the description below. So let's get into this chilling tale. Chelsea, let's finish this up. It's getting dark and I need to be home before 9. Alex exclaimed to her work partner, as the two geologists ventured out of the Pogo mine, located about 275 miles northeast of Anchorage, Alaska. Plus, it gets more dangerous at dusk, and we don't want to end up like that kid on the bike, said Alex, in reference of a 16-year-old male who only weeks previous was mauled to death by a black bear in the area as he got off course from a biking trip and trying to escort himself through the thick brush in the night. His carcass was found a week later, half-eaten and decomposed. The bear shit and pissed all over his body. The Pogo mine is a gold mine in the state of Alaska. By the end of 2017, Pogo had produced 3.6 million ounces of gold at a grade of 13.6 grams per ton. The mine had proven and probable reserves of 1.5 million ounces of gold at a grade of 7.5 grams per ton. The two women that fateful evening were surveying the mine. Alex was a recent college graduate, had her own apartment in Alaska, a young German Shepherd puppy that she loved dearly, and a love for nature and animals. It's rather ironic that the two women, moments before the bear attack, were discussing themselves the possibility of a bear attack and how to be more bear aware, which is what they were. Both of the women were equipped with a can of bear pepper spray, and both of the women knew of the proper body language to use in the instance of a potential bear attack. They could see the silhouette of something large and husky at the entrance of the cave from within. The aroma of dead fish and decay filled the cave as the women looked up in wonder and concern at the determined creature. "Oh my God," exclaimed Chelsea. "It's a bear." The women backed up slowly as the bear edged toward them. It swiped the ground with its paw as an act of aggression and defiance as Chelsea prepared her bear spray. For a few moments, the women observed the animal confidently moving closer and closer to them. Chelsea had the pepper spray prepared, but cautioned to use it as she didn't want to intimidate the animal. They could see the muscle through its thick hide and the glow of its eyes as it gazed at them. The bear, unprovoked, lunged at Alex, taking her to the ground and mauling her viciously. The vulnerable young woman was only lightly clothed, and the bear's massive yellow claws dug into her bare thighs and belly. She attempted to protect herself with her arms and curl up into a fetal position, but the bear, ever more, began pulling her apart, latching onto her neck and shoulder with its massive jaws, and crunched down into the bone. Chelsea, stunned by how quickly the situation turned, could hear the sounds of her friend's bones cracking as the animal chomped away at her, like a dog trying to break the back of a possum. Chelsea, without thinking, ran up to the animal and noticed the sheer size of it. Her head was at its shoulder level, and the woman stopped in her tracks as the bear gnawed on her friend. Alex screamed and moaned in agony. "Get off her!" Chelsea yelled, but the creature ignored her. She looked down at the heavy can of pepper spray in her hand and aimed it at the bear and her friend, but hesitated. Would the spray harm Alex as well? What if she suffocates from it? The cave is so small. The cloud will encompass the entire area. Is it dangerous? Will she die? The thoughts and concerns vanished at the sound of a loud scream coming from her friend, and her instincts inclined her to do what she was hesitating to do: spray the bear. She squeezed the trigger. The red gas blasted through the can, covering the bear and Alex with residue, as a thick red cloud engulfed them all. She held her finger on the trigger and covered her mouth and closed her eyes, and before she could open them, she was knocked to the ground by a massive swipe from the bear. The power it had behind it knocked the wind out of her, and she found herself on the ground, gasping for air and choking on the pepper spray. The bear stormed off, back toward the entrance of the cave. Chelsea lay on her side, barely able to see, and with her blurry vision, she saw the monster at the entrance, pacing back and forth, standing on its hind legs for a moment, and then back down on all fours again. It kept digging its face into the ground and brushing its face with its forearms, as if it were severely agitated by the pepper spray. For a moment, Chelsea thought they were safe. She gazed over at her friend, and the most disturbing thing she's ever seen filled her eyes. There, in front of her, lay the mangled carcass of her co-worker and friend, still moving, trying to breathe, but with blood profusely spilling from her mouth, ear, and wound on her side. The scene was something from nightmares. Chelsea wanted to get up onto her feet, but couldn't. She still hadn't caught a breath. She looked down where the bear had swiped at her and saw a massive bleeding gash in her chest, and slowly looked back up to see the bear still pacing back and forth, as if it were trying to decide if it should finish the women or evacuate the scene. And it was then that the pepper cloud began to dissipate. During the scuffle, Chelsea lost her glasses and now had hindered vision along with other compounding factors. She closed her eyes in despair and suddenly could hear the bear stomping back toward them. In a moment, it had Alex again, crunching on her body, and began dragging her up and out of the cave. Alex moaned as her ragged body was taken up. She dug her nails into the dirt, but it was no use. The bear was so powerful and determined, and she was gone. Chelsea crawled her way out of the cave and radioed for help at the entrance. The bear and her friend were nowhere to be seen. She was rescued by helicopter and taken to the nearest medical center. Her friend, dead or alive, still lost in the great wilderness. A search and rescue party was sent out, and a few hundred feet from the entrance of the cave, Alex's body was found. The bear was seen nearby and was shot and killed, a 450-pound grizzly sow with no cubs. Evidence suggested that the bear stalked the women and was hyper-aggressive in behavior. The attack was considered predatory. Chelsea, at 38 years old, survived the harrowing encounter. Jeez, what do you guys think about that horrifying bear attack? It's crazy that the two women were actually discussing bear awareness and bear attack precautions moments before the attack took place. Apparently both the women were well experienced in Alaska and in the wild. They were both equipped with proper defense measures, according to some. But could you imagine being in that situation where you're talking about getting attacked by a bear and what to do about it, and then all of a sudden it happens to you? And what a disgusting thing this woman had to witness with her friend and coworker being mauled to death right in front of her. It's quite heroic, I think, what Chelsea did, and it seems that she did what she could, and she didn't run away or anything like that. But this, unfortunately, is just another episode where the bear was covered in bear spray, and it simply didn't prevent it from pursuing further. I think in many cases the bear spray does seem to work, but there are always going to be those outliers where the bear's just too damn determined and you're not going to stop it with pepper spray. That would be such a terrifying thing, to spray the hell out of a bear, just drench it in the liquid and gas, only to have it emerge from the cloud and maul you. Because at that point it seems that all bets are gone, and it's probably going to finish the job. But nonetheless, let me know what you guys think about this attack in the comments below. And I appreciate you guys and gals for all your support on this channel. Thank you to my patrons and channel members for making these videos possible. So if you will, like this video, subscribe to the page, and stay tuned for more chilling tales from the Iceman.